Hey guys, it's Bear. It's Saturday, April 25th, 2015, and this is Life of T-Men video number 4. This week we're all talking about acceptance. It's kind of, we're continuing the idea of last week, which was coming out. So I'm a day late on this video. Normally I do my videos on Fridays and I put them up on Fridays, and I wasn't able to get to it this week, so I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, acceptance. My coming out personally was pretty widely accepted by peers and coworkers. You know, I work for a pretty progressive company that has a lot of policies about that, so I had difficulty with one or two coworkers, and you know, the company was really great about handling it. My manager was great, you know, and it was just more about education than anything else. Peers across the board have been mostly great. I think the fact that, you know, I pretty much presented myself as masculine and kind of was accepted as one of the guys really helped, you know. It really was a matter of like just telling people and they'd be like, oh yeah, okay, or, you know, I kind of thought so, or I was kind of waiting for this, to which I kind of thought like, man, I wish somebody had told me that, you know, because I didn't really know, but that's a whole nother video, a whole nother topic and conversation. Family has been a little bit more difficult. I don't want to get into individual family reactions because I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings or embarrass anybody. My sister was the first person I came out to in my personal family, and she was really cool about it. Again, it was kind of like a, yeah, okay, you know. And again, with moving forward, there's been a little education, a little like, well, what about this or whatever. But she's been really supportive. She's been really cool. My parents, you know, have had a little bit of a harder time with it, and I think that that's the norm. You know, you do see parents of trans children that are really, you know, accepting nowadays. I think it's a generational thing, you know. My parents are on the older side of it, and so I think that it's something that they hadn't been exposed to, you know, and I think that that's pretty much the norm for people my age or older, you know. They either hadn't been exposed to it, or they had been exposed to it as a joke, or as sort of a, you know, a deviance, like trans people are, you know, deviants, there's something wrong with them, they're gross, they're messed up, whatever. And not that that's what my parents said to me, but I think just as their generation, it's kind of how they perceived it, you know. So the other thing about it is that, you know, my parents have known me as a girl for 34 years, and so, you know, a tomboy, sure, but a girl, and sitting there and saying, you know, well, I want you to address me as male, call me a male name, you know, and be accepting of the things that I'm going to do to my body, it's just a little out there, you know. And like I said, my parents personally are coming around. You know, I had a really great conversation with my dad the other day where he said, yeah, I see some different things on TV and whatever, you know, and it's starting to kind of click, you know. So that's been a little bit of a difficulty in my transition. I've been transitioning for about 8 months. I've been on T for 6 months as of yesterday. Moving forward though, you know, as far as when you're coming out and what people will say to you that isn't like, yeah, okay, or yeah, I support you, there's a couple things that people will say or said to me, you know, and one is, you know, make sure you know what you're doing to yourself before you do anything permanent, you know, and on the other side of that is like, wow, you moved really quick, and I wanted to address that. You know, the reason for that is, for me at least, by the time I accepted this and was ready to come out and tell people, I was ready to come out and tell people because I was ready to transition. So saying, you know, you moved really quick on this, it's only because I only told you because I was sure and because I was ready to move forward. So when people say like, oh, well, make sure you know what you're doing before you do anything permanent, like starting testosterone will make permanent changes, surgery is permanent, it's kind of like, well, yeah, I mean, you know, I've been thinking about this my whole life. It's just that I haven't been talking to you about it. And then, you know, the other thing that people would say, and this only happened to me with like a small handful of people, who are people that in general kind of turned away from me, is, you know, well, you don't have to come out. You don't have to tell everybody. And quite frankly, you know, telling a trans person to stay in the closet is telling them to not live their life authentically, you know, and it invalidates their identity. And it's a really cruel thing to say. But I don't think people say that because they're trying to be cruel. I think they're trying to make it more comfortable for themselves, you know. So to those people, you know, I wish that I had followed up, because when it happened, I was kind of like just stunned, and I'd be like, okay, you know. I wish I had followed up with them, or I had a chance to follow up with them and say, you know, this is my identity. This is who I identify as, is a male. And so if I don't tell people, I can't live authentically. You know, people would still be using female pronouns with me and thinking that that was right, and thinking that that's what I wanted, you know. And that hurts, you know. And then lastly, to not come out and tell people, you know, for myself personally, you know, because I am seeking medical transition, there are going to be changes, you know, so to not tell people is only going to confuse them when they start to see things that are different, or notice that your voice is dropping, or that facial hair is coming in, and so forth. So I think that telling a trans person that they should stay in the closet, you know, I don't think people understand what they're telling you when they say that to you. And I think, you know, they just don't realize that you're going to be making changes to yourself, and you're going to be living as your authentic self. Not that it's not a supportive thing. For me, it was said to me by people who were being unsupportive, but I don't think that's the case across the board. And yeah, those are my thoughts on acceptance for this week. Video's getting kind of long, so I'm going to go. Thanks for listening to my video. Again, I'm sorry it's a day late, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.